So, hi everyone, welcome to the Lagos Tableau User Group First event of 2026. It's been a minute, and between our last session and now, so many things have happened. So much AI frenzy, so many developments in the community. We are looking forward to the Tableau conference coming up very soon. And just as you know, we have two of the most amazing speakers from the community with us here today for our first event. I'm going to introduce them properly in a minute. If you're joining us as well, feel free to put in the chat what your name is and where you're joining from. You would have other members of the Tableau user group, communicate and interact with you in the chat. So I'm just going to share my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen because I can no longer see. So just anyone can just tell me they can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
All right, great. So once again, welcome to Lagos Tableau User Group meeting for February 2026. And our theme for this event is Market Ready, Iterating Your Way to a World-Class Data Career. And we have two amazing members of the community with us today. Like I earlier mentioned, we have Ojoswi Basu, who's a founder and principal consultant. And then we have Emanuela Tudumi, who is a business intelligence developer. So, first of all, you should join us if you've not at this moment yet in time. Be a part of the Tableau Data Farm in Lagos and Nigeria. We are dedicated to building a supportive and inclusive community for enthusiasts in Lagos and Nigeria at large. Our mission is to connect Tableau users of all skill levels, from beginners to experts. And we want to do that in an environment where you can share knowledge, you can network, and you can grow your data visualization skills. We are very committed to promoting data-driven decision making and showcasing the talent and innovation within the local Tableau community, not just in Lagos, but across Nigeria as a whole. So you can scan this barcode right now with your phone if you're looking at this. Meet the Lagos Tableau user group leaders. From left to right, we have Omodeji, who is a Tableau consultant at Fixed Technologies. We have myself, Bolan Adebayo, who is a senior data analyst at Salam FinTech. We have Maureen Okonko. She is a Tableau analytics consultant at Swift Insight. And we have Idris Akilakba, who is a Tableau developer and previously was at Flutterwave as a risk and compliance analyst. Meeting Kenny Ayodeji. She's a Tableau consultant at Fix. She's focused on helping individuals enhance their skills and navigate their visualization journey. She is a passionate Tableau lover, recognized currently as a Tableau ambassador. She's a co-winner of the Michael Christiani Community Leadership Visits Award at the last Tableau conference, and then she has been mentioned severally on the weekly Data Farm blog with a Views of the Denomination on Tableau Public. In her free time, she enjoys watching movies. She doesn't like horror movies, and she finds relaxation through sightseeing. So you can follow Kenny on X at Kenny Nexa as spelled. Then myself, I'm a senior data analyst at Salam FinTech. I've been using Tableau for 4 years for both for work and fun. I'm a Tableau visionary and also a three-time Tableau public ambassador. Also a two-time winner of the VZ's Biggest Growth 2023 and 2022, and also lucky to have received Views of the Denomination 7 times. We need to update the slide. Outside of Tableau, I love to follow Manchester City. I love going to the gym and Pinteresting. And follow me on X at Bolan Spelt. Then we have Maureen. She's a consultant, Tableau consultant at Swift Insights. She's also currently a Tableau ambassador, also winner of the Newbie Newbie Visa Award 2024. Spoke at the Tableau Data Farm Europe Conference 2024 and been nominated on Tableau Public 4 times. She finds fun exploring new culinary adventures and traveling. So you can follow Maureen at X at that_Tableau_gal. As spelled. And then finally, we have Idris Akilakba, risk and compliance reporting professional at Flutterwave previously, and currently he is freelancing in Tableau, Power BI, and Ultrix development. He's a three-time Tableau public ambassador, maybe 4 time now, with over 4 years of experience as a seasoned data professional. He excels in using Python, Excel, SQL. You can name the whole full range of the tools to extract, analyze, and visualize complex data sets. He loves playing video games and binge watching Netflix in his free time. You can follow Idris on X at im_Akila spelled. But then we have an amazing team, not just the four of us trying to run LagosTUG and trying to make it, this very active hub. As you can see on LinkedIn and X, we have Emanuela Tudome, who's going to be speaking today. We have Israel Ayola, we have Jonathan Victory, Michael, Toby, Udrak, also Victory. We also have Joy, and Lara and Mayoko. We have like several new members to the team as well. Now going to today, very simple meeting ground rules. Three, first is to interact. Like I said, feel free to say hello and interact to the rest of the audience in the chat section. Everyone is happy to meet you. Feel free to say what your name is and where you're joining us from. Most importantly, submit your questions in the Q&A section. Selected questions will be answered live at the end of each speaker's session, so feel free to put in your questions and ask whoever might be bothering you. We have just the best people in place for that. Now, finally, and most importantly, is to learn and have fun. Our meetings are recorded, and you can find them on our LagosTUG YouTube channel after the meeting, so you don't have to worry about being able to get in touch with the recording later. We'd also send it to you through mail if you RSVP'd for the event. Now to our speakers for today. First, we have Ojoswi Basu, who is a founder and principal consultant. He's very active on LinkedIn. If you are in the community, you definitely would have seen his post, and I'm sure you must have been influenced by several of the conversations he has on LinkedIn. To the right, we also have Emanuela Tudeme, who is also a local talent with us here in Lagos and in the Lagos Tableau user group, who is a business intelligence developer at Level Analytics. Meet Ojoswi. Ojoswi's mission is very simple but very important, which is to making data and financial literacy accessible. What keeps him engaged is being able to create quality content for his mentees. Like I said, if you're active on LinkedIn, you should have seen his post, and if you've not seen his post, you should definitely follow and connect with him on LinkedIn and also on X. He's also very deeply invested in the Tableau and data community. He has spoken at several Tableau user groups and also spoken at the conference, if I'm right. And then he volunteers himself as a mentor for the Data Visualization Society. So we have someone who is hugely experienced within the community and is also very committed to making data and literacy accessible. So we are in very, very good hands. Today, Ojoswi will be talking about leveraging the Tableau community to improve employability, and we are very, very happy to have him. So I'm going to stop sharing, and you have the floor, Ojoswi. Thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you. This has been an absolute honor to be coming back to the Lagos Tableau user group to share my experience. Data fam, it's family for me. People who touch data is already part of the data fam. And some of you know it, some of you didn't know, but if you've touched data, you're already data fam, right? And because you're data fam and I'm a data fam, we are all but one family. Reason why this talk is important is because in today's day and age, everybody is looking to maximize themselves. Everybody is looking forward to create a space, a brand for themselves so that they not only improve their employability, but they also can leave behind a legacy for themselves to inspire others. My story is very similar. As you were probably aware, that I've been doing Tableau for 13 years now. But for the first 10 years, nobody knew me because I wasn't trying to make myself visible in the community. I was just pursuing excellence. And early 2004, I started writing more regularly on LinkedIn. I started creating content on YouTube. Not the ones which you usually see. I can't sing, I can't dance, I have any other skills other than woodworking. But my content was around how to build Tableau dashboards. And from there began a journey which brought me to two-time ambassadorship, brought me Makeover Monday co-leadership. I've done 6 now 7 mentorship sessions, cohorts with Data Visualization Society. I'm getting to co-lead Tableau user group in the retail domain. Chance to speak at the conference last year, chance to speak at conference in the upcoming TC26. So it has been a phenomenal journey for me. And I wanted to uncork my secret today. I want to share that secret. Today's session, leveraging the Tableau community to improve employability, is a small section in that entire pie of you as a brand, of you as someone who can create opportunities not only for yourself, but also for the family, the data fam around you. And I thought that today it's not going to be a demo session. It's not going to be a hands-on session. It's going to be more qualitative. It's going to be more philosophical. It's going to be more personalized storytelling, something that we all want to do as Tableau professionals. We are phenomenal storytellers. And these stories are the ones which stick. But before I get into it, if you're not already part of the community, take this moment as I'm yapping around to find a community that appeals to you. There is a QR code on the top right of the screen right about here, where if you're not already aware of Makeover Monday, by all means scan that and join Makeover Monday. It is one of the leading community projects which you can do for free. The data set's free, the submission's free, the software, Tableau public desktop, that is downloadable for free. So with everything free, you might want to ask, then where is the skin in the game? Your time is your investment. What I did when I was learning Tableau back in the days, ever since Tableau Public launched, ever since Makeover Monday launched in 2026, I would go in there, download the data set, build something in Tableau, not for anyone to see, but for myself, to ask a question, how can I tell a data story using that data set? And my appeal to you is, if you are early on in your journey, or even as me, someone who is fairly comfortable confident in his Tableau skills, I still go ahead and do Makeover Monday projects. Chance where I got to co-lead this with some amazing people like Chimdi, Blake, Matt, and Harry. So join Makeover Monday. You can be part of the community. Retail TUG is my plug. The Retail TUG, we lead a QR code here. We talk about retail. If you are not in the retail space, you're still welcome. If your friends are in retail space, by all means, do me a favor. Share this team with them. Share this Tableau user group with them. And now let's come back to today's topic, which is connect with intent. In the comments, write yes if you have seen the screen on the left. It doesn't have to be this role, but if you've used LinkedIn and you have gone into the jobs portal and you have clicked on any of the job that you thought was interesting, did you see that apply button, or maybe a quick apply button? If you've seen that, type yes in the comments. And now, you don't have to answer me, but ask yourself, how many times did you apply and how many times did you hear back from the employer? You went in there, you customized your resume, or you wrote up a cover letter, you took the effort of filling in a 5-pager, 3-pager, 10-pager form, went to their website and did things only to hear nothing back. If it has happened to you, you're not alone. I, as a consultant, have to constantly look for work. My cash flow, my lifestyle depends on how employable I am. So I very well know how it feels to be looking for work and to not find work. By the way, I'm currently looking for contract work. So if you or any of you know someone who's looking for a Tableau person, let me know. And this is exactly the power of the community. I just made myself more accessible and employable by sharing my position with you, that I'm looking for work. And I didn't go into LinkedIn to apply for any of the jobs in the last 1 week, but I should. And I probably think it may help, but I somehow believe that it's better to go ahead and have conversations. So on the right side of the screen, you are looking at some of the messages that I'm sharing on LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn message box is more active than how active I am on the job portal of LinkedIn when I'm applying for jobs. And this is to tie back to the first tip that I want to share, that if you are leveraging the data fan to up your employability, then instead of hiding behind the LinkedIn job page and taking a chance, a flip of coin, that will it work, will they reach out, go out there, talk to your connections, write a post about the projects that you're working on, and share it with the world. Today, I have more than 250 different dashboards on my Tableau public, and I want to bring that up because why not? This is a Tableau user group meeting, and I've spent many years building Tableau dashboards. If you look here, you'll see a whole bunch of Makeover Mondays here. So I wasn't lying to you when I mentioned that I've done enough Makeover Mondays to know. And when I have conversations with people, I make it a point that I bring them when I have, say, an interview or a client meeting or any of interactions with the Tableau fam or with my potential employers or with my existing clients where we talk about ideas. I make it a point that I bring them to my Tableau public page, because this for me is first-hand marketing. It's like, look, this dashboard that I built gives me the KPIs, builds a dashboard, conveys a message, tells a story, and why not use one of these charts in your life project to bring your story to life? And here there are 250 different examples. And I don't have to be mean about it. I can say, great, I'm good with Tableau, but there are other people on Tableau Public who are doing phenomenal work. Let's look at some of the trending work that's happening and inspire myself. And say, for example, I've seen Annabelle's work, right? Annabelle is such an amazing Tableau visionary, so inspiring. She built this Van Gogh VOTD, which I absolutely love. And now I see a chart which I like. I go ahead and I look at it. And if I have any questions, boom, I go to Annabelle's LinkedIn and I reach out to her, a message. Hi, Annabelle, boom, boom, boom. I saw this dashboard. I loved it. And look here, we have had great conversations before. And this is all that there is to connect with intent. Instead of being a person on the left side of the screen where you're passively applying, where you're actively applying to jobs and recruiters who don't even know you may or may not get your resume, you are having an active conversation with people whom you may or may not know, but having a one-on-one conversation with them to build rapport. Do you want to have that conversation at all times? Yes. Even when I'm not looking for work, I'm having conversations. LinkedIn is not the only platform. There is a Tableau Slack channel. And if any one of you have the link handy, share it. If not, once I'm done speaking, I will find it and stick it on the chat over there. By all means, explore that Slack channel. There are several on the Slack, Tableau community Slack, there are several channels which are open to all, where you could ask questions, where you could share your wins, where you could share your dashboards, ask for feedback. I know there are amazing leaders who give feedback, who review your work, and there is also a formal channel now that Chindi is going to co-lead, is already co-leading. And those are several ways you can connect with intent. So coming back to today's topic, leveraging the Tableau community to improve your employability. So we've talked about how you could connect to people on LinkedIn, how you could connect to people on the Tableau Slack channel community. We can have conversations around best practices and what have you. And I hope that this is the first step. If you're already doing it, pat on your back. Here's a thumbs up from my side. You're doing great. Keep at it. If you've already joined the Makeover Monday, bam, thumbs up from my side. Keep at it. When you finish the project, make a post on LinkedIn, tag the co-leaders of the project, share your work, build your portfolio on Tableau Public. That's an important step. Because when you have conversations with people, you want to talk about something, you want to share something, you want to have a story to tell so that they know that they are talking to someone who is in the data fam, who is looking to improve their skills, who's looking for work, who has done work before. And then it's like a cycle of trust. You build momentum, you build trust, and they start trusting you enough with their recommendation to find work. Recommendations go a long way when you are looking for work. Ask yourself, step back into the shoes of an employer and think, if you were a hiring manager, would you want to hire an absolute random whom you found through a job whose resume landed on your table from the HR department? Or do you want to hire someone whom you somewhat know through social platforms, with whom you have met at conferences, or with whom you have had a chat in a session like this today at a user group meeting, who is already doing Tableau or has been doing for years? You could be that person. So by sharing, connecting with intent, you're building your employability, you're scaling it up. Enough talk. I've been speaking for a long time now. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take them. Back to you.
Just looking through, I don't think we have any questions yet, but I think Israel and Maureen are trying to coordinate for the questions. So I would let you know as soon as we do.
If we are not connected, there is a QR code, and I can share back my screen. By all means, reach out to me, guys. I'm on LinkedIn all the time. If you didn't know that, I'm also on the move. We are moving to warmer lands. Everything is packed. Today is the last meeting, and after that, it's going to be a road trip. Me and my family were relocating to warmer places. We live in Toronto, Canada, but we are moving to Texas for better employability, for warmer weather, and things like that. So it's going to be a road trip. We're going to hit the road. So if I don't reply to you in a day or two, don't lose hope. I'll be back on LinkedIn soon enough. Here's the QR code. You can scan it and stay connected. Thank you again, Team Lagos. It's been an absolute pleasure every time I've come back here, and I look forward to seeing you again at the conference.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So I just want to thank you, Josie. Would have questions, but as soon as we do, I would you can probably also answer them right there. But just moving on to Manuela, please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So thank you so much once again, Josie, for your presentation. Moving on to Emanuela for the second presentation for today. Emanuela Tudome is a business intelligence developer at Lever Analytics with experience spanning finance, insurance, and more. A passionate member of the community, her visualizations have been featured 3 times for Views of the Day, and one of her visualizations was shortlisted for the Information is Beautiful Awards. She plays an active role in the LagosTUG community, helping shape community events. Outside of data, she enjoys staying active at the gym and loves diving into TV, film, pop culture, and music. So today, Emanuela will be speaking on the iterative path, a journey of crafting data stories worthy of global recognition. So, Emanuela, you could just go. You could share your screen so I can let you know that we can see it. We can see it, yes.
Hi everyone. My name is Emanuela Tudumi, but I usually go by Ella, so Ella is fine. And today I'll be speaking on the iterative part, a journey of crafting globally recognized data stories. Just a little bit about me. I don't really have much. I think Bola has done an extensive introduction. I'm a business intelligence developer, a Tableau ambassador. I love music. I like to talk about. I love to be entertained. I like to lift heavy, and I volunteer here at the LagosTUG. To start with, I'll start with my journey because I believe that every career has a start. So my journey started with discovery and curiosity. This was back in 2018, 2017, just before I went to uni. I used to listen to a lot of podcasts, and by chance, I stumbled upon an episode that had a data visualization professional called Mona Chalabi. She works at The Guardian. If you don't know what The Guardian is, one of the biggest publications in the US, where she answered questions, really just boring questions. But because she was answering them with data, I got interested and I got curious. So I found people like Visual Cinnamon, Nadi Brima, Dear Data, Data Sketches. At that time, I don't think there was a Nigerian community for Tableau when I found all this thing out. So some of the work I saw were this, lots of sketches, lots of code in any form. There was no drop. I didn't know about drag and drop at that time. I just knew people sketch insights with their pens. People would code insight. That's all I knew data visually, and I thought it was interesting. So I went on with life. I went to uni and I knew Excel because I studied computer science at school. By chance, I got to know about Excel, learned it for a while. And then one day, randomly, I was trying to get into data visualization because I mean, the direct progression from Excel will be to know a database tool, right? So I Googled Tableau and Power BI, I think. And I think one of the first visualization I ever saw was by Chimdi. At that time, I didn't know who Chimdi was, but was really, really cool. And like, yeah, I think this is the tool for me at this point. So moving from that, I started to be a part of the community. I did a lot of makeover Mondays. Most of my earlier works was Makeover Monday, Back to These Basics. I collaborated by, leaving comments under people's posts, just being a part of the community to a point where one of those years I got named as one of the rising stars. Used to be called Tableau Next at some point. This was back in 2023 or 4. I don't remember now. And to the present day, I'm a Tableau ambassador. I got shortlisted for one of the most prestigious award, I would like to call it, in this career path, which is the Information is Beautiful Awards. And I also volunteer here at the LagosTUG. So because my introduction to data visualization was filled with sophisticated work, it had like a good effect and a bad effect. The good effect was that I knew what good work looked like before even ever making any batch out. I knew what great data visualization was. But the problem was that I did not know how to make it. I struggled with this for the longest time. And I at the time I didn't know about this quote, obviously, but it's a quote by Ara Glass, says that there is a gap between your taste and the work that you actually can do. Like your taste is very, very good, but your own skill will continue to disappoint you for the longest time. And that was a problem for me in the first year, and I'll say maybe first year and a half of, you know, learning Tableau. I have proved that I have really good taste because this is my first ever business dashboard. And I made this business dashboard as an interview prep for the job, for a job. I got that job. This was also my first visit of the day, and it also got me my first freelance gig. So I knew how to make good visits, but this is not where it ends. It just happens that it's my beginning. So this now brings me to iteration. But before I start to talk about what iteration is, I would like to say what iteration is not. I think iteration is not making hundreds of visits. It's not making visits as fast as you can. It's not copying somebody else's work and claiming it to be yours. Iteration, in the simplest term, is looking at work that you admire, identifying specific techniques and copying them, then adding your own twist. It won't be iteration if you skip any of these parts. If you skip any of these steps, rather, like every step is important when you are iterating. And why should you iterate? You should iterate because um, you can't think your way to better work. I used to think I would be able to think my way to better work if I just look at other people's work hard enough, if I just like take notes, if I reverse engineer like 101 times, I would get better. But that's not the way to get better. You actually have to build things that are not nice, oily things to get better. So there are three steps to iterating. Let's say 3 plus 1, so basically 4 steps. But we'll talk about the first 3 steps. Step 1 is inputs. Step 2 is to identify. Step 3 is to copy. And step 4 is, we'll talk about that later. So for the very first step, which is input, I mean, it's just an English word, taking in as much inspiration as possible, being open to the idea of getting inspiration. It's not just visits that you see. Sometimes when I'm watching a movie, if I see like colors that just make my eyes dance, I would take note of it and try to use it in a visualization. So it's constantly taking information in and letting your brain do the categorization, because you don't even have to do much work. You just need to expose yourself to what good work is. So you can get input from Pinterest, from Tableau Public. There are lots of YouTube channels now that didn't exist when I started. We have Dub Data. They interview people, people in the community, especially talk about data visualization and just data in general, the career path, right? There is also the Tableau user groups like this one we are in now. It's all about exposing yourself and being where good work is at. Like it just does something for your brain that you would thank yourself for later. Another channel I like to watch is Unfinished Business. They'll go over visits that people have not completed, because every one of us has like visits that we never ever complete. So seeing other people talk about their visits that they didn't complete is also a good way to get inspiration for your work going forward. And Flowing Data, one of my favorite blogs. There's also Data Bytes on Substack, and there are so many more. We have people here in the community that write Medium articles, anything at all that exposes you to Tableau techniques, data visualization techniques. All of it is input. So you need to take as much as possible in. So the next step is identify. I would always preach the gospel of this book. It's one of my favorite books ever. And in this book, by the author Ali Turban, she talks about creativity in data visualization. She talks about how to be inspired, because it's very easy to just look at beautiful charts, look at look at things that you admire, but it should not end there, right? It should be useful, because what's the point of looking at visits if you never get to be inspired by them. It's like when I watch movies, I'm only getting entertained at the end of the day because I'm not a film creator. I'm just someone that watch movies. That's about it. But you don't want to carry that same attitude or mental model when it comes to data visualization, which is what you do for a living, I suppose. Um, let me come back to this. So what exactly is the identify step? The identify step is as easy as saying, I'm going to copy that. Or that's exactly how I see. When I see somebody's viz that I like, I just say, I'm going to copy that. I make a mental note in my head, I'm going to copy that. That's about it. But in the book, she talks about a particular framework, like I would like to call it, called the X-ray method. Um, the acronym X-ray, when you find a viz that you like, you identify what makes you excited, right? You identify the rules, the visualization rules that it follows, best practices, and how it breaks those rules, and then make a mental note of what you are going to copy in your next viz or something you plan to copy in the future. So I don't want this to be all talk. Um, can somebody share like a viz that they found interesting in the comments so we can just apply this framework to it real quick live? Who wants to share a viz? Does anybody want to share a viz that they find that they think is really interesting that they saw this week?
Anyone, please, can just pop in a link.
Yeah.
Israel and Ken, you could also help look into that quickly. Okay, yeah, it just popped one.
Okay. I'm just gonna copy the link. Okay, we have two, so I'm going to do those two. Let's do the first one. Um, okay. I don't know. My internet's kind of slow. um, let's just wait for that, right? Or if you can tell me who the author is, maybe that will be a little bit faster.
Ruben Martinez is the author of that viz.
Okay. Let's go searching.
We can
Ruben.
only see your slides right now, so I don't know in case you're sharing. Can't see the other.
Yeah, I would adjust when I find the viz. Can you place the author's name in the chat so I'm not like okay. Okay. So I'm on Ruben's profile right now, and okay. So I think Ruben is actually a really good clip for this. I'm going to um, go over to that tab real quick. So yeah, when you see these V's, what's the first thing that stands out to you? What gets you excited? Who wants to go in the comments? Let's make this interactive. Okay, since nobody wants to go, okay, the labels on the bars. Okay, the title. So yeah, okay, the simplicity of the layout makes it really easy to understand. So let's use Israel's notes. Let's use Israel's note and Kenny's note about the partitioning. Okay, the conscious use of color, really good. So let's use those three things. Okay, I'm scrolling on LinkedIn. Let's paint a picture. I'm scrolling on LinkedIn and I look at this design and it makes me stop. And the first thing that comes to my head is, wow, this is actually really cool. I really, really like the colors. I just take note of that real quick. I really like the colors. I like the layout. Usually, like, you don't see layouts like this. I really like the layout. We have sales, profit, and units sold. That partitioning, that's something I want to use in my Vs, right? And that's something that gets you excited. So what are the rules that it follows? It uses positioning by keeping related things together. So I put that at the back of my head. Okay, that's something I should probably take note of when I make my next visualization. When things are of similar nature, they should be grouped together. So I should not have the KPIs of sales here and then the indicator over here. Like, placing them close to each other is a rule that I should follow. Something else that is exciting to me in this visualization is the bars, the bar in bar, to show current year and I think previous year. That's really something I would want to try in the next visualization. So I take note of those things. It doesn't even take that much time. Now, what I just did takes you away from being a casual viewer to someone that would actually improve their skills. Because I think something that I see people that are just starting out is that they're making the same visits over and over again. The best way to improve is to see what other people are doing and copy at least one thing. So I remember when I used to make it, when I said maybe like a year or two ago, I would always go to certain people's pages to get inspiration. People like Chimdi, people like okay, let's go to Chimdi's profile and just do one of his visits because he's someone that I always go to for inspiration anyways. So Chimdi, real quick. Let's speak of his visualizations. Let's do this one. So let's do this one together now. So what's something that gets you excited immediately you see these views? Let's pop it in the chat. What gets you excited about this visualization? Because I know what gets me excited about this. Yeah, the histogram. Yes, the histogram. Yes, and the color wheel style. Yep. The bespoke donut chart. Yes. The color wheel. Yeah. So now, whenever we look at a viz, the first thing, the use of legend, yes, that too, that too. Something that gets me excited is that the circles that he used to point out where a country is placed is not flat. It has this gradient effect on it. So that's something that I actually like. And even where he has the label of selected country, it's not flat. He uses that same color from the color wheel and he uses it as another way to create visual interest. So that's something that gets me excited. Now, what data visualization rules did he follow? First and foremost, the first thing that he does is the use of white space. It's almost white, unless color is actually needed. So whenever you make a viz, and also this the grays that he used to separate the metrics, the evaluation, the factors of happiness, the grays I used to separate them. What I talked about again, like positioning, putting similar things together in a in to grouping them together, grouping. So I think grouping is one of the easiest way to make your visualization like really, really good because of how the brain works. When things are colored the same, when they are in the same box, we tend to associate them together. So that's like a mental note for me. That's X. I think I moved ahead of myself a bit and started talking about everything. So let's back to my slide. So we've talked about what gets us excited. We talked about the rules, and we talked about how it breaks the rules of data visualization. One of the rules that viz break is that it uses gradients. I know we are told to use simple colors, this and that, but sometimes it's those tiny things that make our visualizations like pop out and stand out. The histogram, that might be a little bit difficult for somebody to understand compared to bar charts, but it's something that you would take note of and want to put in your V. So that's where the Y rather comes in. What from that viz, maybe one or two things would you use in your next project? Now this is the copying part. You take you take the rules, you take the things that excite you, and then you play around with the things that break those rules, and you make your next viz, and you keep on doing that over and over and over again. So I have some examples of how I iterate over like this my projects. So on the left, you have my first ever business dashboard, got me my first viz of the day. And on the right, we have my last viz of the day, also a business dashboard. Now, the difference between dashboard A and dashboard B is not that dashboard A is bad. It's just that in between, I've learned how to use colors better. I've learned how to, um, I have better knowledge of white space. I know how to think about the user more. And I didn't know all these things by just folding my arms and hoping that, oh, if I look at visits hard enough, I'll be able to do it. I made some visits that I don't like or even care about. But all those things brought me here by also copying people. So I looking at these visits, I know exactly who I copied to make these visits, right? Not one person, like a couple of persons. So that's what the iterative part is noticing your beginning and then taking tiny, tiny steps to make better work that you admire, trying to be as good as the work that you admire. I have another example. On the left is my first ever makeover Monday, and it's just bar charts. And on the right is another makeover Monday. The thing about these two is that they are both static. They don't have any interactivity in them. But you can clearly tell that there is so much sophistication on the one on the right. I know how to use colors better. I've learned some Tableau skill like map layers. I know how to make better legends. I know how to manipulate color to emphasize things, to de-emphasize things. And I learned all this by making some other visits that I don't really like or that are not as good as the one on the right. So you always have to make tiny, tiny improvements because even if you know all the things that are good, that's another thing. You might know all the things your visits lack, but it's almost impossible to be able to translate all of that into your next viz. So in the end, you have to pick maybe one or two things. And before you know, you are creating work that you used to admire. So now the last step is productive comparison. One thing that brings all of this together is the ability to be able to compare yourself. I know we're told that it's not good to compare yourself to others, be you, but I always compare myself to people and I just can't help it. So instead of telling myself not to compare myself to people, I just say, you know what, I'm going to compare myself to people anyway, since that's what I like doing. I like it a lot. I might as well just continue. But this time around, I'm going to be productive about it. If at the end of my comparison session, I can't pick out one thing that I'm going to do better, then that's a waste. So whenever you compare yourself to somebody else's work, when you see somebody else's work and you're like, oh my God, I could never do that, like, hold on for a bit and ask yourself, what is one thing that I could copy from this person, right? And use in my next viz. If you can't think of anything, then you're just wasting your time. If you're going to compare yourself, like, you might as well compare yourself well. So whenever you look at work that intimidates you or work that looks like you'll never be able to do it, like, just hold on, ask yourself, what's that one thing I can copy? I'm very passionate about copying, if you can tell. Um, yeah, so the path is truly iterative. Like, nobody ever wakes up and be a Tableau ambassador or get visits of the day, or get like opportunities. It took tiny steps, and there's a way to make that journey easier on yourself by comparing yourself productively. Probably the most important thing here, right? And also iterating, copying, identifying, and adding your own twist. So yeah, that's the end of my talk. If anybody has any question, or something you want me to answer, please let me know. Any questions?
Do we have any questions, please, in the chat? Are we saying that our speakers have done an amazing job and we don't have any questions for them? Okay. All right. I don't think we have any currently. So thank you very much, Ella, for that amazing presentation. It was very engaging and interactive, and I did learn a lot, and I'm sure lots of us also learned a lot. So if you could just stop sharing, so I could just share the remaining part. Thank you, Ella. So let me just share. Okay. So thank you once again, Ojoswi and Ella, for your presentations. You're absolutely amazing. So barring any question, this would probably be the end for today's event. Thank you everyone for attending. We hope to see you in March for our next event. Once again, be a part of the community by following LagosTUG on X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as subscribing to the channel so you can get notified as soon as we push the recorded version of this session or of this meeting. By scanning the QR code that you currently see on your screen, you'll be able to do that right away. Once again, join us to enhance your skills, to collaborate with fellow data enthusiasts, and to be a part of a vibrant, dynamic group. We appreciate everyone for coming out, and we really do hope you have an enjoyable and a great weekend. Thank you once again. Thank you, Ojo. Thank you, Ella. We really, really do appreciate your presence. And thank you everyone for attending once again.
Thank you, guys.